Just minutes after Fresno Mayor Lee Brand announced he would bow out of the 2020 mayoral race, Fresno Police Chief Jerry Dyer made it known he's strongly considering entering the race. When I sat down with him a couple of days ago at City Hall, Dyer seemed destined to launch his political career. If I remember our conversation back in February at Starbucks, and I called you Mayor Dyer at that point. How long have you been considering this?
Well, actually, I was not considering it that day that you spoke with me, because I was fully assuming that Lee was going to continue to run. And I had said publicly I wasn't going to be running against my mayor out of loyalty, out of friendship. Over the last 11 years, my name's been mentioned a lot when it comes to mayoral races. But each and every time that it was mentioned, I had to give up being a police chief. So that was something I loved and something I wasn't willing to give up. And then the other thing was having to sell my home in the country to move into the city. So those were the struggles that I had at that time.
Were you surprised that Mayor Brand? Because it seemed all very coordinated on Monday. It sounds like maybe you guys had talked over the weekend and he was going to tell you, hey, I'm going to make this announcement. And then, you were very public about what you were considering at that point.
Yeah, I knew that Lee was struggling with seeking re-election. A couple of things. Number one was his family wanted more time with him. I knew that. He had shared that with me. The other thing was he had said, I'm getting up in age. He's going to be 70, and when he turned 70, he started really thinking, is this what he wanted to do for a second term? And then, but it was really the past week. Just before he announced, actually on Monday, we had a brief conversation, and then we went to dinner Tuesday night, and he shared his thoughts and feelings, and it was giving me some time to think about it and talk to my wife about it.
Do you have a deadline for your decision? I know everybody knows it's very public. You're trying to sell your home out there in Fowler. So is there a decision knowing that it could go through completion of escrow pretty soon?
Well, my home's in escrow, set to close June 10th. And I anticipate making that public announcement prior to that. Mm-hmm. I know that this is a decision that's important to our community. It's a decision that's important to me and my wife and my kids and grandkids as well. And so I want to make the right decision. And for me, this is not about what the polls say. It's not about who the opponents might be or whether or not there's even an opportunity that was created now by Lee stepping away. What this is about for me is a calling, to know inside that this is where I need to be, that I'm the right fit for Fresno, because it's going to be a lot of work, and not just running a campaign, but sitting in that chair for the next 8 years is what I would plan to do. And it takes a lot to be a leader of an organization. I know that. I've been the leader of our department for 18 years.
Obviously, you had dinner with Mayor Brand, as you talked about. Do you think he would endorse you once you make that final call?
I think at some point in the future, once I'm no longer the chief, mm-hmm. That he'll make that decision. I would certainly want that endorsement and support from Lee. We are friends. I served as his chief, along with 2 other mayors. Right. So I would hope that he would make that decision, but I don't expect that decision as long as I'm employed with the police department.
Politics is a nasty game, as you know. You've seen it over your time as police chief, but if you decide this could get nasty for you, there's already a tweet out, and I want you to respond to it. It's from a former congressional staffer that worked with Andrew Jans during his run against Devin Nunes, and it clearly says, just to be clear, Mayor Lee Brand is dropping out of a tough re-elect versus Andrew Jans to clear the path for, quote, a corrupt police chief who cheated on his wife and had sex with an underage minor. Again, a tweet from a former congressional staffer. You haven't even announced officially yet, and we're seeing stuff like this.
Well, I think that's an indication of the type of campaign that could occur. Mm-hmm. Certainly they're trying to get down in the mud, mm-hmm. and to try to dissuade me perhaps from even running in this election. But I can assure you those types of things are not going to prevent me from answering a call that I believe is a call on my heart from God to do the right thing for this city. I love this city. And no matter what people say, My love for this city, my love for the people of Fresno, my love for a community that I've served for 40 years is a lot stronger than any of those comments that may be made about me. And the people of Fresno are really going to have to decide, do they want someone like me who has proven themselves as a police chief over the last 18 years to be the voice of calm, or are they going to judge me based on who I was in my early 20s? And now I'm 60. There's a lot of decisions that I made in my early 20s that I'm not proud of, I'm ashamed of. I've been public about those decisions, learned from them. I wish I could take them back, just like any of us that have made poor decisions in their life. I'm still with my wife. My wife and I will be married, be married 39 years. And so, and I have two wonderful children. We all go to church together. I have 4 grandchildren and 1 on the way. So the things that are going to be said about me could be very hurtful, could be very painful for my family to hear, and painful for me. I don't monitor social media, nor does my family. But the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, it's whether or not that calling inside of me is stronger than those things that are being said about me, and whether the people of Fresno are going to judge me for who I am today and how I've led in the last 18 years as a chief, or who I was in my early 20s.
This would be groundbreaking if you become the mayor. You go from police chief to mayor with hardly any downtime in between.
Right.
That's groundbreaking for Fresno. You ready for that?
I think the citizens of Fresno, based on everything I've heard since I announced that I would be considering, I've been inundated, literally inundated with voicemails and text messages and phone calls, and no matter where I go in the community, in Southwest Fresno, Southeast Fresno, North End of Fresno, people have asked me to run for mayor. Not just asked me, strongly encouraged me. Emails that say, please be my mayor. So I think it is groundbreaking for Fresno, but the leadership that you learn as a police officer all the way up the ranks, to include being a police chief the past 18 years, having to deal with all the crises that we face in our city, the tragedy, being the voice of calm for our city during that time and during all those times, overseeing a complex organization of over 1,100 employees and a $180 million budget, dealing with all the critical decisions on labor negotiations and litigation, personnel matters. I believe it's prepared me to be the next mayor.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thanks, Alexander.
Chief Dyer. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, now following the interview, Andrew Jans wanted to release this statement after seeing the tweet from his former congressional staffer. Quote, "This individual does not work for me or my campaign. I am committed to addressing the issues of Fresnans care about, more like parks, homelessness, job creation, and public safety," end quote.